Hey everybody, welcome to episode 1 of No Way Jose,
Yeah.
starring the Boston Mass. It's news and views with the Boston Mass. Jose Raymond. Welcome, Jose. It's your show.
All right. Awesome. This sounds fun. How you doing, Ron?
Doing good. Now, this was not the first choice. I had another title that you shot it down, and luckily I look back and say, yeah, I wanted to call it the Boston Massacre. You
Mm.
know, massacre connotes destruction and death and violence. So
Yeah,
good call, Jose.
we can't have a negative connotation with me here. We'll
No.
let the viewers write in the comment section. Write in what you think the title of this should be. You
Well,
like
it's already No
Boston
Way Jose.
Massacre?
We can't change it. We love No Way Jose. Don't you think it's a great title?
I do. It's fabulous. Yeah, I love it.
I think we did an article. Did we do an article? No, we did one called "Everybody Loves Raymond."
Yeah. Now there was a no way, Jose. There was.
Was that me, or I think that might have been in Flex magazine or something, or Muscle and Fit.
I'm sure it's one of them did it.
Yeah. Anyway, because I think Everybody Loves Raymonds. I think that was Muscle and Fitness. That was or Flex. It was you and Tito were in that article.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think I did know it. So every week we'll be talking about something different or a couple different things, news and views. A couple days ago, there was a video on RX Muscle. I didn't get a chance to see it. It was the Heavy Muscle Radio portion. I don't know. Did you catch it before it was taken down?
Oh, I didn't know it was taken down.
Okay. Do you even know what I'm talking about? Or I'll just have to let you know.
No, I think I do. I watched it. It was very painful to watch. And
Well, let me tell people what it is. So there was 4 guests. It was Dave, Lee Priest, John Romano, and Chris Aceto, right? I believe. And Lee came out with a mask. It was a mask of I don't know who the mask was. It wasn't like maybe some black celebrity or actor. I don't know what the mask was, but it was a bald black guy, and I think he had painted on like a white goatee, and he was supposed to be Shawn Ray. So he came out like that, and some people were saying that's blackface, and other people say no, blackface is when a white person paints their face black. A mask is not blackface, but the bottom line is a lot of people were very, very upset. Shawn, of course, because it was him. He posted on Instagram, and the last I checked, there was about 600 comments vilifying Lee Priest. Most of these comments. Dave had Lee on the next. Dave took the video down because I think YouTube easily somebody could have reported that for whatever violations and had his channel struck or taken down. Anyway, he did the right thing by taking the video down. But then the next day he had Lee on to defend himself in a live interview. And then this morning, Dave put out another rant where he was defending it, saying, people should be who they want to be and say what you want to say, because at the end of your life, you don't want to look back and regret and live your life for other people and this and that. But we have to talk about it because this is the United States of America, and we just got past last summer the George Floyd incident, Black Lives Matter, huge news story all over the world, not just the USA. And we do have to be a lot more sensitive and careful with what we say and do, because we need to recognize who might be offended, who might be upset by this, and some things just aren't appropriate. They're not cool to do. So whether it was a joke or not, you can't joke about anything. Like, you can't come out dressed like, you couldn't come out in a KKK robe. You can't come out dressed like a Nazi and do Heil Hitler. You can't do anything you want to do just because it might be funny. So I don't know where to begin. What was your reaction when you saw it?
So there are so many ways to go about this, so many angles and opinions. And do I think he was being blatantly racist? Was that the purpose of him doing it? No, I don't think. I've met Lee. He's a crazy dude. Don't watch Lee if you're easily offended. Period. Don't watch Heavy Muscle Radio if you're heavily offended. There's going to be nonsense. And I'm surprised Shawn was even offended by it. I think Shawn just wanted to say something. Just use Lee and see what he could do, how much of an ass he could make Lee look like. I don't think he was truly offended by anything Lee does. Yeah. Just like Lee wouldn't be truly offended by anything Shawn says.
Yeah.
But what I took from it, when I said it was painful to watch when the discussion started coming up and John Romano was describing racism or describing how watered down racism is. Meanwhile, one of your panelists has 4 black children. and it wasn't cool. It wasn't cool at all. I could see it, the look in his eye. I could see the discomfort, him not knowing whether to go off, log off, or go nuts, or tell him all to shut the fuck up. And Chris handled it very well. And I don't care what Shawn Ray, like, I was more concerned with Chris, who was live, having to be subjected to the like fake giggles and like, haha, how do I handle this?
Right.
Shawn's a grown man. Shawn can figure, but he wasn't put in the uncomfortable spot of having to try to make sense of that debacle. I blame Dave a little bit for not, it's not scripted. Lee just did it. I don't think Lee tried to hurt anyone on purpose, but he's not mindful because he don't care. That's why I said there's so many ways to go about it. Yeah, I like Lee. I like Lee a lot. I think he is funny sometimes. I think some of it's nonsense. I just think you got to be aware of your audience and of your own panelists. I certainly wouldn't make a fat joke with a morbidly obese woman sitting next to me. It just they have no couth. But that's the whole idea of that panel. Dave wants the whack pack, the craziest, most obnoxious. Don't watch it if you want anything really educational or anything too serious. It's going to be nonsense.
Yeah.
I honest to God, the majority of the viewers, I would assume, were really there to see Chris's opinions, Chris's knowledge. This is a bodybuilding outlet. It's not politics. Like, stay out of that. Like, so they're really losing ground on what they had, which was a good thing of Chris being a very informative bodybuilding historian, kind of like a Peter McGuff. If you had Peter McGuff on, would you be saying stupid, disrespectful shit? No, that's not the crowd you're with. To me, Chris is very respectful, very respected. And I thought it was outlandish that Dave let that go on. And Chris was put in a spot where he I think he handled it well, because you could see him brewing, like he wanted to explode.
Yeah.
It was just a weird set of circumstances. Hopefully, nothing more comes of it. It's not, this cancel culture is also kind of bullshit,
See, I get that. And that's what a lot of people were upset, that there was such a backlash. There was such a strong reaction to this on Shawn's part. And there was, when Shawn made that post, there were people on there deeply upset about it. Kai Green, Phil Heath, Brandon Hendrickson, Charles Dixon. I mean, those are just a few that I saw. There was 600 comments the last time I looked. And, I get that all the people that were commenting saying, you guys need to lighten up and take a joke, they were all white.
Yeah.
It's not up to, I'm speaking as a white guy, it's not up to me what black people find offensive or what's permissible and what's not, what you can say and what you can't. That's not up to me. So for a white person to say, oh, you shouldn't be offended by that, just, it's just jokes, and we can't see the world the way they see it. We haven't experienced what they've experienced. And I'm not a social justice warrior. I've never been in a protest or anything like that. But I mean, I do know that I can't understand the black experience and what they go through, and being prejudiced. And I can walk down the street and I don't have to worry if the police pull me over. I'm pretty sure they're not going to hurt me. Or if I'm a 20-year-old black guy, I know anytime the police pull me over, there could be trouble. I could be hurt, maybe.
Yeah. But it's these guys that are saying you shouldn't be offended that are part of the problem. It's that they've created a culture where it's okay to say this shit. It's not okay. It's not. And you saying that you should be okay with it is the problem. Yeah. That it's not okay. And I get it. Like people try to skirt around and be funny and like and be cool. It's just better off unsaid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If there's any question whether it's going to be funny or not, or it might offend someone, then just don't do it.
Right.
I mean, listen, if you're making your living being a comedian and you're Chris Rock, or you know your whole skit is about racism, then all the power to you.
Yeah.
But on a bodybuilding board, you know, we've always said that bodybuilding, what is the word?
Transcends
It
race lines.
transcends race. You know, we have an Egyptian Mr. Olympia. We had a Lebanese 212 guy last year. Now we got a black 212 guy. You know, we've had everything. England, Dorian's from England. We have Arnold from Germany. Everything. And it's supposed to transcend. And it really does, because, you know, we're backstage. We're all, you know, we're all hugging, high-fiving, you know, you need anything, helping each other out, and always very supportive of each other. It's the dummies making commentary that ruin it, you know. Bodybuilding is a very, very, very open community.
I mean,
you know,
I've always said if you're a racist, if you're homophobic, if you have any real strong prejudices, bodybuilding's not for you, because you're going to be around a lot of these people over the years. If you can't deal with being around someone from another race or another sexual preference, you probably need to get out of the sport, because you're going to be around quite a few of them at some point or another. It's just, it just, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm the paragon of virtue or not. I'm certainly not. I think racism has come a long way since I was a kid. I was born in 1969. I heard the N-word every day. I heard people call each other fags and retards every day growing up in the 70s and the 80s. So we've come a long way toward being a little more sensitive and aware of what's cool and what's not. But we still have a long way to go, for sure. But, you know, we can't, as white people, can't dictate to black people, no, this is just a joke, be cool with it. You know, and some of them tried to say, well, look at that movie White Chicks. They did that whole movie in whiteface. You know, that's offensive to white people, isn't it? No, it's not the same, dude. That was one movie. And someone else brought up Tropic Thunder. I think Lee brought it up, where Robert Downey Jr., he was in blackface the whole movie. Said, yeah, but that was actually a Hollywood comedy, and there was a black actor in the movie who was giving him shit the whole time about it, if you recall too. It wasn't like they played it off like it was okay. They were calling him out as being offensive and culturally appropriating and all that stuff. So, you know,
that's another problem right there. That's enough to tell you shouldn't say it. If you have a pocket full of excuses as to why you can say it at the ready, like, well, what about Tropic Thunder? What about White Chicks? Then you probably shouldn't have said it. Like, you know, you probably know you're wrong. You're just justifying it with other nonsense. Again, I don't want to make it out to be a bigger deal than it was. You didn't, you know, you could sway either way. I don't think he was trying to be overly racist. I thought he was, you know, he thought it was funny, whatever. It was inappropriate, at least, at best.
I don't think Lee's a racist. I'll say it right now.
No,
I don't think he is a racist at all.
I
In
don't
fact,
either.
one of my favorite Lee Priest quotes, because I wrote his column in MD for a very long time, was, "I'm not a racist. I hate everybody." So he hates all of humanity, but even himself. So I'm not calling him a racist. I don't think he's a racist. It's just, you know, you need to, like you said, if you have a question in your mind, should I say this? Should I let this on my show? If it's even a question, the answer is no. Why would you even go there? Why would you even risk it? Knowing, especially the climate in the USA right now, it's still very volatile. You know, we all need to be aware, regardless. And you know, politically correct, not politically correct.
Now, don't you look at your videos before you post them? Don't you consider, like, there's going to be some backlash, or
they were live? They were live.
The thing has gone a little further than they were live.
Was it live? Is Heavy Muscle live?
No,
I don't know. Is it?
No, I watched it the following day, and I didn't know anything about it. Nobody told me to. It wasn't until I watched it. Then a few hours later, I got a few text messages. They were like, "Oh man, I feel bad for Chris." And I was like, I felt the same way. Like, watching it, it was painful to see his face like this. Like, they were talking amongst themselves. shit they have no idea. Like who are you to say what's racist or what isn't, or what's watered down racism? I could see the aggravation, but it's I don't want to be part of the problem by overly blowing it out of proportion either.
Yeah.
Carrying it on. He said what he said. He was trying to be funny. I hope Lee doesn't get too much backlash from it, because that wasn't really Lee. I mean, if you want, if you don't want to hear nonsense, do not even let Lee Priest wake up in the morning. Everything the guy says is utter shit. But it's funny. And he's a character. Yeah. He's a character. He's a caricature of himself. He knows that. That's what he wants. Yeah. He's probably laughing his ass off that we're talking about him.
And I mean, what can anybody do to Lee anyway? How can you cancel Lee Priest? What are you going to do?
You can't. He's been canceled over and over again. And he keeps coming back.
I mean, the worst thing that could have happened to him was if Dave said, Lee, we can't have you on the shows anymore. He clearly has no intentions of doing that, because, Lee's comic gold for him. Why is he going to lose his what's a good comedian? I can't even think of one. Why is he going to lose his top comedian? He won't. So
like a George Carlin.
There you go, George Carlin.
Say nonsense all day long. I was going to say that reference. It's like going to a George Carlin concert and being offended. Yeah. You don't go to a George Carlin. You don't go to Lee Priest if you expect all niceties. Yeah.
He has no filter. I mean, he's said things on the air before, like so and so sucks. I can't say I'll have to say penis on YouTube. They're very bad with they don't like profanity. But he said things like that about people that are like, you just can't say anything you want to say because it has consequences. It was not true in that case, no.
Oh.
Maybe if it was true, he could have said, well, I have it on video. This guy does gay porn and he does suck, blah, blah, blah. But no, this was discussing a heterosexual man. He was just disparaging him. But anyway, yeah, we'll move. The last point I want to make is they sort of try to throw Generation Iron under the bus, because Generation Iron, they'll jump on any story, of course. They're there for the clicks and views, like everyone on YouTube is. And it seemed like they were blaming Generation Iron for blowing it out of proportion and using it for clickbait and using it for clicks and views, but they were just reporting on something that actually happened and was there. They didn't manufacture a story out of nowhere.
No, it happened.
They took
before we move on from the race thing, I want to show you my favorite shirt of the day.
What the hell is that?
And can you all take a guess, since we're on the race topic?
Oh, okay. I see the two X's and I see the tats. That is Beau Lewis.
Yes, and it's perfectly to scale. So his package takes up 19% of his body.
Did you
him?
Did he respond did he contact you about that?
About what?
Well, we actually referred to his package on the last interview.
I think that's all we refer to. The poor bastard's got a hell of a physique. The only thing we can muster up is his package.
Yeah, I mean, it's a problem we all wish we had.
Yeah, hey, you win some, you win some.
You can't hide it. It's wow. Can you imagine not being able to hide it? Wow.
Yeah, he can't even. It's terrible. Makes he's got his legs look thin because of it.
Yeah, he does. We've been in touch for a couple of years because we met through Kevin Leveroni, and he's someone who takes constructive criticism and goes to the gym. And if I say your legs are not very good compared to this or that, he goes and he starts working his legs twice a week. If I say your back your back is not very thick, or he goes and he fixes it. He doesn't say, "No, you don't know what you're talking about. No, my legs are fine. My back's fine."
Yeah.
Those are all the second, third call out guys for life that have.
Yeah. But Beau's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll be top 5 in the Olympia very, very soon. Very soon. Just needs.
I'm surprised he wasn't last year.
Yeah. So the only other thing I want to talk about today, I did a video called "Before and After Transformation with Steroids," basically asking, are they valid? Because every Tuesday on Instagram is Transformation Tuesday, and we all follow a lot of the same people, I'm sure. You'll see people put up pictures of before they were on steroids and after. Maybe they were training, maybe they weren't, but it's always this dramatic transformation. And to me, if I could see, I'm only impressed if they had some sort of muscle before they started using gear. They had some base. if they were a skinny bastard or girl, what do you call them? I can't say the B word for them. But if they had no muscle, if they had no muscle naturally, and then they show, well, this is 3 years later and they're like 100 pounds bigger, I'm impressed to a point because I know it does take a lot of work. Obviously, steroids don't lift the weights for you. They don't eat the food for you. They don't go to bed at 9 o'clock for you. They don't do any of that stuff. You still have to put the work in. But I'm a lot more impressed with someone like yourself who was world class. You would earn your pro. People don't believe. They're never going to believe anyone that says I turned pro naturally. But you turned pro naturally. 2007 Nationals. You finally took it on. That was the fourth or fifth time you had earned a pro card.
That was the fourth.
That was the fourth time. So you actually earned your pro card 4 times before you touched anything. And you didn't touch anything until you were getting ready for your first pro show, which, who does that these days? Who? Can you think of anybody? I can't think of anybody.
No. So back then, you didn't get a pro card from winning the USAs as well. Right. I won the USA in 3 weight classes. So that would have been 3 more. Right. And I won the Team Universe twice.
Yep.
That would have been 2 more. So that was a total of 8 pro cards I would have had under today's rules.
So wait, you won your class at Nationals 4 different times?
3 times in 3 different weight classes.
Wow. Okay.
USA's 3 times in 3 different weight classes.
So, what do you think about that? When you see somebody post a picture, here's their side chest before, they'll say this is 2017 or 2018, or let's say there's a 3 or 4 year difference, and they were skinny as shit. They look like a beanpole. They look like, do you even lift, bro, skinny? Then in the after, it's clear they're gassed out of their skull. They put on all kinds of crazy muscle. As someone who did it your way, we're not here to judge. It's not Planet Fitness. But what do you think? Are you impressed, or are you more impressed when somebody had a good natural base, then they blew up?
Well, it's clearly more impressive to see a good physique get great, than someone who's, nothing, going from nothing to okay. Yeah. I like to see someone reach their natural potential or go as far as they can. And then that they're going to be able to do something once they move forward because they've already mastered the art of creating a good physique, which is the training and the diet and nutrition and everything that goes along with it. If right out of the gate you start juicing, you've got very limited options of how to get better.
Let's do some math here. Your first pro show was 2009 New York Pro, I believe.
Yep.
Right. So you didn't start anything until 2008, correct? Because you won Nationals like November. I believe it was November of 2007.
It was 2009.
Oh, so you didn't even start till you were prepping
after
for
the
that
New York
show.
Pro. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't. So wait, you did the New York Pro, your first pro show. You were still natural?
Yeah.
Okay.
I always say Vinny Galante was the reason that I did it. Because I went on stage. Vinny beat me at the New York Pro that year. Okay. And I was like, fuck that. We're playing by a different set of rules now.
Yeah. So I have to ask you, so at that point, you're how old? You're like 33 already at that point?
30. I was 34.
34.
Yeah. I was 184 pounds on stage at the New York Pro. And then
with a ponytail.
Yeah. Then 3 months later, in 3 months, I was on stage at Atlantic City at 202.
Wow.
So I put on, what's that? 18.
20, that's 180. What did you say? 184
184 to 202.
Yeah. 18 pounds of mass.
18 pounds of stage weight.
So I have to ask, what were you thinking? Why did you stay natural all those years, even up in, toward the end of your national competitor years? Why would you? I know you were damn good and you were winning anyway. Was that why you didn't use anything?
Because I didn't have to. 2, I was so against it, my whole career. It was everything I stood for was, I wanted to be the best natural bodybuilder in the world. I wanted to, I won the Muscle Mania. I won the Team Universe. I wanted to win the World Championships. After I went to the World Championships, my opinion about it started swaying a little bit. I'm like, Dennis Wolf just won this show.
Yeah.
Like, how did that happen? Yeah. And, then I'm like, well, I grew easily to middleweight size and condition
Yeah.
without anything. It was from there moving forward that, 175-pound guy is not that big.
Well, at 5'4", that's not.
Yeah, well, when it's granite hard, yeah, but it's still not unbelievable.
Right.
But once you're getting over 200 pounds, you're gonna need some assistance there.
Yeah.
Um,
And you could actually, I think you could make a very strong argument that you were the best natural bodybuilder ever, because you said you won eight class wins and a few overalls in the NPC at the national level, right?
yeah.
Who else can even come close to that sort of track record?
There were a couple that were really good. Like Tricky Jackson.
Yeah.
He was close. Marvin Ward. A couple of the smaller guys. If you want to consider Kai Green, Kai won the overall at the Team Universe. He didn't compete very often though, and he didn't do nationals or USAs or anything like that.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever asked you, but what did Tito have any problems with you going to what we call the dark side? Or did he understand?
Because I was already 34 years old.
Yeah,
and he's like, you're a man. You can make your own decisions now,
Yeah.
And I was, I'm like, if I'm gonna compete, I'm gonna compete, fairly. It'd be stupid to compete against all guys taking stuff if I'm not gonna play by the rules.
Yeah.
So it changed immediately. Like within 8 weeks later, I did the Dallas Europa, and I remember seeing George Farah, and he was like, "What did you eat, your brother?" Oh my God! Because I was already, I grew like crazy.
Yeah.
And then, a few weeks later at the Atlantic City, I almost arguably beat Flex in Atlantic City, and then went to the Olympia and was 6th at the Olympia. So I went from getting beat by all these guys to, I ballooned up in a matter of months.
Right.
But that was only because I knew how to train, I knew how to eat, I knew every aspect but that, So I was that was the catalyst that sprung me to the next level.
I remember you telling me as far back as like high school, everyone thought you were on drugs anyway.
Yeah, I got tested. I got pulled out of class.
That's
I was in algebra class my sophomore year in high school.
Wow.
And I got pulled out, and they tested me. My coach was like, "Okay, I'll pay for it," because he knew me. He was one of my best friend's fathers.
Yeah.
Brought me to the health stop, put his credit card out.
Wow.
We got the results, put them in all the teachers' mailboxes. I probably, looking back, I probably would have thought the same thing, because I was shredded. Like I had veins coming out of everywhere. I was training in the weight room, and the athletic director walked in. It was a woman, and she was dumbfounded, like this little kid, benching 3 plates. I was just crazy looking.
Yeah.
And but I obviously it wasn't anything.
Right.
Till 20 years later.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of people that I'm sure they would never believe, even all those years you were as a lightweight, they thought you were on middleweight, whatever, because like people can't wrap their head around. If I try to tell them, yeah, Ronnie Coleman turned pro naturally, like, no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Yeah.
No, dude, he was 5'10" and a half. He turned pro at like 212.
Yeah.
Okay. He competes at the Olympia, I don't know, 7 years later at 296 pounds. If you're already on drugs and you're already 212 on stage, you're not putting on another 85 pounds of muscle. No.
Right.
Same thing happened with Kai. I think Kai won the Universe. I think he was like 205 or 206 or something, right?
Yeah, he wasn't very big.
Wasn't very big. And a couple years later, he's winning New York. Was it still Night of Champions? I don't know. A couple years later, he's winning shows. He's like 250, 5'7", 5'8", whatever he is. People still, they can't comprehend that there are people like you guys out there. I mean, you guys being the genetic mutants, the elite.
Yeah.
But I say it like this: there are people in this world that are over 7 feet tall. That's crazy, right? There's not many, but that's true. I'm not making it up. There really are people over 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
There was a guy that still holds a world record, Robert Wadlow. He was 8'11" 3/4. Guinness Book World Records. No, I don't know if we're ever going to see anyone beat that, but that was an actual human being. If that was a real thing, and there's people that are born with like 6 arms, weird shit happens. Is it so hard to believe that there are these rare people like you, like Ronnie, like Kai, that just with hard training and good eating can have a look that the regular person would never be able to achieve, probably even with all the drugs in the world. You know, the way Ronnie looked when he turned pro, 99.99, throw another 29s on there, percent of people on all the gear in the world for years would never look that good as Ronnie turned pro. It is. Oh, it's not fair? Oh, well. Who said it was fair? Nobody said.
There's a common trait in all those names you say, like, and it's not just the physical genetics, it's the mental genetics, where, you know, they can go a place that most people can't. You know, Ronnie trained himself into a wheelchair. You know, Kai is legendary. He can train for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know, it takes him an hour on the step mill just to warm up and get going.
Right.
It's craziness. You know, genetics plays everything. I just had this conversation. Someone brought up Michael Hearn again and blah, blah, blah. And I say, why can't it? Why can't Mike be just better than you? Just better than most people. He's not hard to believe at his height and his weight. It's not an astronomical number. It just is, I believe.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's bodybuilding fans, they're different from other sports fans because it's, you know, I blame the magazines. Not there's many magazines left anymore, and I'm part of the problem because I wrote a lot of these articles. But we put out with Joe Weider and MD, all these magazines for years, put out the idea in people's heads that you can look like these guys. Take the supplements that we're advertising, do these his arm workout that we have here. You can have arms like friggin' Ronnie. You can have legs like Tom Platz. No, you can't, but that was like the selling point. Whereas people watch the Super Bowl, and I don't think any of them think if they did whatever Tom Brady does every day, they don't think they can go out there and play like Tom Brady just because they're going to follow his practice regimen, eat his diet or his workout or what's that thing he sells, a TB12 or something? I don't know.
TB12, yeah.
TB12.
Eating avocado toast and avocado ice cream.
But bodybuilding fans are tapped. They think, a lot of them think, if I just do his workout, or of course they think if I just took whatever drugs he's taking, I'd look just like that. Yeah. But we both know many, many, many people who have taken every drug under the sun and they still look like garbage. So there you
go. It's weird. I've never noticed a huge jump if I tried a little more or I tried a little less. I never noticed. I think the importance is saturation. Like once you have it in you, it doesn't matter if you're taking 3,000 milligrams of it or, 500, 600. I don't see a big difference as long as your body has it. And you can train, and you're going to get better.
Yeah. I mean, did you see this thing with the 14-year-old kid on Trend that was going around the?
Oh no.
No, good. Well, you're lucky. You don't see all this crap. But there's a guy named Derek. He has a channel called More Plates, More Dates. He did a reaction video. The kid, 14 years old. He took the video down, but not before this guy Derek could download it and use it in his video to comment on it.
Yeah.
Skinny 14-year-old kid, and 14 years old. You probably had a beard when you were 14, but this kid, no. Yeah. This kid looks like very much a child. He still has the baby face. He's skinny. He's got a little bumpy biceps. He's got a little tiny bit of muscle, but it's nothing he couldn't have done without drugs. Nothing. Certainly if he just trained for a little while longer. I mean, he looks like he's barely started puberty, this kid, and he's talking about some guy at the gym sold him Tren. I'd like to meet that guy and talk to him.
Oh, man. So now he's going to need to be on shit forever. Yeah. And he's probably going to be.
Right. Yeah. Like I did another video. I keep talking about my awesome videos. You'll Never Quit Steroids was a video because most people I know, I planned on doing one cycle when I started. It was because I got beat by, it was a 95 NPC Ironman. I didn't start till end of 96, but I made the decision right after the 95 Ironman Naturally, Redondo Beach. Because you remember Arnie List from Vermont, right?
Of course.
So he had a brother, Carl. I think Carl was actually older.
Yeah.
He was a trainer at Glasses. He was a trainer at Gold's Venice for a long time.
Yeah.
So I knew Carl had been at the national level, the USA, whatever, just like Arnie. And he had been bigger, but he went off and he had downsized a little and he beat me at that show in the light heavies. Did he win the overall? I don't know. Did he? I can't even remember. It doesn't matter. But the point is, the point is, I remember man, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to use drugs. Like I'll do one cycle. I'll put on all this muscle. Then I'll be natural again, and I'll beat all these people that were beating me before. It didn't work out that way, obviously.
Yeah.
I didn't. I did stop for a while, but then once I went back on, here I am. I'm 51 years old. I'm still on and off. So
I can see that where, if you've used it, and especially if you've used it long enough at a certain age, you never recapture that feeling of invincibility. Like you feel superhuman, like you're training everything, you're strong, you're just you're alive, you feel aggressive, and as opposed to when you have no testosterone in your system, you want to cry, you want to like hide in a ball, and you might still putt through life. But if your hormones are way off, and your only other option is to take testosterone,
right,
you have to. You have to live a normal life. So
that's why it's called hormone. That's why it's called hormone replacement therapy. Because my body's never gonna make that shit again. Never, 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 never.
Well, you're in your 50s now. That's to be expected.
Yeah, but even if I never touched anything, I'm sure my test would be coming down by now anyway. But because I've been abusing, I don't want to say using because it is abuse. It's way more than TRT would want you to use. Yeah, my body's never going to make it again, but it is what it is. No regrets. No regrets, as I like to say. R-A-G.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, let's wrap this up because we're gonna have more to say every week, and we're gonna have a no way of the week. I think we're talking about something.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make these, but yeah, guys, leave in the comments questions, anything you wants to talk about, or especially Jose, because Jose's brutally honest, blunt. Not everyone can handle that, but he's very respectful at all times. We're not gonna tear you apart for your question or anything.
Of course.
But, let's get some questions, some things you'd like to hear Jose talk about, because I could talk to Jose all damn day, every day, I think.
Let's do it. Bring the questions, bring the opinions. I want to hear some what you guys think of my beard, my old man beard, my lack of hair. Yeah. I've changed in that 10 years where I was a pro. I had a nice head of hair, nice baby face. Now I have no hair, balding, and I have a gray beard.
Yeah, you know what? They can't see it, but I have like a teenage fanboy. I still have some pictures taped to my wall here. I think I put them up when I was dieting for one of the Team U's or something. It's a Mike Nevy shot in Ironman. I'll have to, for next year I'll show it. I think you were a lightweight here. You had blue trunks on, or blue shorts, but man, you look like a kid in the face.
I know exactly what that was. It was
it's a hand on hip, most muscular.
Yep. It was 2005. I was on my way to the World Championships in China, and I stopped and did a photo shoot at his studio.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Those weights, the fake weights. Yeah,
he had the fake weights. That was a great weekend. That was the weekend I met Chris Gettin. Remember Chris Gettin?
Of course, yeah.
To write for a Natural magazine publication, and I flew from LA to Shanghai, and I did that photo shoot. That was a great one. Yeah. A lot of great shots out of that.
And Nevy was so good at lighting, so good, man.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, it was 165. Yeah.
Okay, so that's when you won the welterweights that year, then.
Yep.
Yeah. Is that the year you went to China and they took all your canned tuna away at the border?
Exactly. Oh,
bastards.
That was terrible. Yeah, I wonder if that would happen today, because now it's packets.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Open it, and I opened it and showed them, and then they took the next one. They go, open. I'm like, what? I'm like, open all of them? And they're like, yeah, open. I'm like, no, you keep them. I don't want them. Open every package.
Those cans, right? They open the cans?
Cans, yes.
Bastards, damn it.
Yeah, they screwed me.
Stories where food gets wasted really bother me. I don't know why. It's just,
Yeah, then I had like nothing to eat. I had to eat all the stuff they had at the hotel, which was all garbage, Danishes and stuff. I competed against Baito Abaspor in that show.
Jeez, wow.
Yeah, he was a welterweight, and the winner of our class was Mozzolani. He puts on the Mozzolani Classic in Czechoslovakia and Slovakia.
Yeah.
Andre Mozzolani.
Yep. He was good.
So he won. He was round crazy, I think there was a kid from Italy was second. Baito was third, and I was seventh.
Yeah, we used. Go
Never
ahead.
compared me to them at all. I
Yeah,
was
that's
next to Baito when I walked out, and he
so
was
that was
me going.
just to let people know that that was because all those years you and Tito and Tricky and Faldo, all you guys, Ron Coleman, not Ronnie, but Ron, you all would win your classes and they would send you over to the World Championships.
Right.
And so we sent our best natural guys up against
Anyone.
guys that were far from nothing close to natural. And usually we would get our ass, the Team USA would get our ass handed to us every year. And I used to get so mad. I was like, oh, look at that guy. You know, but anyway.
Yeah, it was stupid. It changed my mind pretty quick with my idea of where I was heading, you know.
Yeah. Well.
But I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did it the way I did.
All right, well, let's wrap this one up, Jose.
Okay, buddy.
It's been a good one. This is episode 1 of No Way Jose, News and Views with the Boston Mass, Jose Raymond. We're going to come at you with an even better one next time, everybody. Thanks for watching.